Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the exploration ship Defiant. His crew watched the main screen with wide eyes. Something big was coming their way through space. "Captain, we have multiple contacts," said Lieutenant Ben Parker from his station. "They're huge, sir, much bigger than our ships." Jake nodded and straightened his uniform. "Put it on screen, Ben." The main display showed dozens of crystal ships floating in the darkness. They looked like giant glass sculptures, all smooth curves and bright lights. Each one was 10 times bigger than the Defiant. "Beautiful," whispered Chief Engineer Lisa Brooks. "But they look fragile." "Incoming transmission," announced Communications Officer Tom Hayes. "They want to talk." "Put them through," Jake ordered. The screen changed to show a tall alien creature. Its skin was see-through like glass, and it wore fancy robes covered in jewels. Behind it, more aliens moved around what looked like a throne room made of crystal. "I am High Commander Veltar of the Zephyrian Galactic Empire," the alien said in a deep voice. "You will surrender your vessel immediately. You will accept our rule or face complete destruction." Jake looked around at his crew. They all seemed confused by the alien's words. "Did he just threaten us?" asked Commander Alex Turner, Jake's second-in-command. "I think so," Jake replied, "but he said it so nicely." Lisa Brooks started to giggle. "Look at all those fancy decorations. Do they really think that scares us?" The alien commander looked angry. "You do not understand. We are the rulers of this galaxy. We have conquered thousands of worlds. Submit now or die." "Thousands of worlds?" Tom Hayes asked. "And they all just gave up that easily?" "Apparently," said Alex Turner. "Hey, Crystal. Boy, what happens if we say no?" High Commander Veltar's eyes grew wide. "Crystal Boy? How dare you speak to me with such disrespect?" "Sorry," Alex said with a big grin. "I meant to say your royal sparkliness." The entire bridge crew burst into laughter. Even Jake had to cover his mouth to hide his smile. "This is not how first contact is supposed to go," Lisa whispered to Ben Parker. "But it's way more fun." The alien commander looked shocked. "In 50,000 years of expansion, no species has ever laughed at us. You will learn to fear the Zephyrian Empire." 50,000 years? Jake asked. "And you're still using the same old speech? Maybe it's time to update your material." "Your ships are made of crystal," added Lisa Brooks. "What happens when they hit something hard?" "Our vessels are works of art," Veltar said proudly. "They show our advanced culture and power." "So they're pretty but weak," Alex Turner said. "Got it." "We are not weak," the alien shouted. "We control half the galaxy." "By threatening people with pretty lights?" Tom Hayes asked. "That's not very impressive." Jake stepped forward. "Look, Veltar, we appreciate the offer, but we're not interested in being your subjects. Earth doesn't bow to anyone." "Earth?" the alien commander asked. "What is Earth?" "Our homeworld," Jake explained. "It's a tough place. We had to fight for everything. We got wars, disasters, diseases. We survived it all. And now you want us to be afraid of some fancy glass ships?" Lisa Brooks added. "Sorry, but we've seen scarier things in our own backyard." Veltar looked at the other aliens around him. They all seemed as confused as he was. "You must surrender," he said again, but his voice sounded less sure now. "It is the way of the galaxy." "Maybe for other species," Jake replied. "But humans are different. We don't give up, and we don't back down. Plus, your ships really do look breakable," Alex Turner said. "One good hit, and they'd probably shatter like glass." "Our shields are powerful," Veltar insisted. "Sure they are," said Ben Parker. "Just like everything else about you. All show, no substance." The alien commander's face turned darker. "You mock the Zephyrian Empire. This cannot be allowed." We're not mocking, Jake said calmly. We're just not impressed. You show up, make threats, and expect us to fall over in fear. But we're humans. We laugh at bullies. Especially fancy, sparkly bullies, Lisa Brooks added. This is your final. Warning, Veltar said. Submit or face our wrath. Jake looked at his crew, then back at the screen. Thanks, but no thanks. We have work to do. Maybe you should head home before someone gets hurt. It's hurt? The alien commander asked. Are you threatening us? Just giving friendly advice, Jake replied. You picked the wrong species to mess with. Alex Turner leaned forward. Tell you what, Crystal Boy, why don't you run along home and bother someone else? We're not interested in your empire. High Commander Veltar's mouth opened and closed like a fish. He had never been dismissed so casually before. You will regret this, he finally said. The Zephyrian Empire will make an example of your species. Looking forward to it, Jake said with a smile. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge crew in silence for a moment. Well, that was interesting, Tom Hayes said. Did we just make the Galaxy's biggest empire mad at us? Ben Parker asked. Probably, Jake replied. But did you see how shocked they were? I don't think they know how to handle someone who isn't afraid of them. Lisa Brooks was still grinning. Those ships really do look fragile. I bet our mining lasers could cut through them like butter. Let's hope we don't have to find out, Jake said. But something tells me we will. Outside the ship, the Crystal Fleet began to move away. But everyone knew they would be back. High Commander Veltar stood in his crystal throne room, still angry about the humans. The other Zephyrians around him whispered nervously. No one had ever spoken to their leader like that before. Find their colonies, Veltar ordered. We will. Show them what happens when someone defies the Empire. His officers worked quickly. Soon they found a human mining colony on a planet called Kepler 442b. It was far from Earth, with only a few thousand humans living there. Perfect, Veltar said. We will destroy this place. Then the humans will learn to fear us. The Zephyrian fleet moved toward the mining colony. Their crystal ships glowed brighter as they prepared their weapons. On Kepler 442b, the miners were having a normal day. Pete Collins, the foreman, was checking the morning reports when his radio crackled. Pete, we got company, said Amy Watson. The security chief. Big ships coming in fast. Pete looked up at the sky. The crystal ships were beautiful, but he had seen prettier things in the asteroid belt. Those the same guys who bothered Captain Morrison? Pete asked. Looks like it, Amy replied. They're trying to contact us. Put them through, Pete said. The main screen in the mining office showed High Commander Veltar. He looked even angrier than before. Humans of this colony, the alien said. You will witness the power of the Zephyrian Empire. We will destroy your settlement as a warning to your species. Pete scratched his head. Why are you telling us first? Doesn't that ruin the surprise? We want you to be afraid, Veltar explained. Fear is part of the lesson. Oh, Pete said. Well, we appreciate the heads up. Amy, how long do we need to move the good stuff? Amy Watson checked her tablet. About 2 hours should do it. Most of the valuable equipment is already underground anyway. You hear that, Crystal Boy? Pete said to the screen. Can you wait 2 hours? We need to move some things around. Veltar looked confused. You are not afraid? Should we be? Asked Carlos Rivera, one of the miners. We deal with cave-ins, equipment explosions, and toxic gas leaks every day. What's a few alien ships? We have gravitic disruptors, Veltar said proudly. They can tear apart your planet's surface. The surface? Pete laughed. Buddy, we're miners. We live underground. Surface attacks just save us some digging. Amy Watson started giving orders over the radio. All teams, Move to the deep tunnels. This is not a drill, but it's not an emergency either. Take your time and don't forget. The coffee machines? Coffee machines? Asked miner Sally Turner. Priorities, Amy replied. We might be down there for a while. The Zephyrians watched in amazement as the humans calmly prepared for the attack. There was no panic, no begging for mercy. The miners acted like this was just another day at work. There. Not running, observed Sub-Commander Kellen. They're not even scared, added another officer. Begin the attack, Veltar ordered. Show them our power. The crystal ships fired their gravitic disruptors. Purple beams of energy hit the planet's surface, tearing up rocks and destroying buildings. The mining colony's surface structures exploded in bright flashes. Direct hit, reported the weapons officer. Surface installations destroyed. Excellent, Veltar said. Now they will surrender. But instead of surrender, the Zephyrians heard laughter coming from the planet. Nice light show, came Carlos Rivera's voice over the radio. Did you see that, Pete? They missed all the good stuff. I told them we live underground, Pete replied. Some people just don't listen. Amy Watson's voice joined in. Hey, sparkly ships, you want to try that again? This time aim for the deep tunnels. That's where we actually keep everything important. Veltar's hands shook with rage. Fire again. Destroy everything. The crystal ships fired more energy beams. They blasted craters in the ground and melted rocks, but the mining operation continued underground. Still going strong down here, reported miner Bob Jackson. Though the light show is pretty entertaining. I'm taking bets on which fancy ship. Breaks first, added Sally Turner. My money's on the one with too many decorations. The attacks continued for hours. The Zephyrians used every weapon they had, but the humans stayed safe in their tunnels. They had built their colony to survive asteroid impacts and solar storms. A few energy beams from pretty ships were not a big problem. This is impossible, Veltar said. They should be begging for mercy. Maybe we're not scary enough, suggested Sub-Commander Kellen. Not scary enough? Veltar asked. We just destroyed their entire surface colony. The parts they didn't care about, the Sub-Commander pointed out. Down in the tunnels, the miners were having a good time. They treated the attack like entertainment. Hey, Amy, called out Pete Collins. How long do you think they'll keep this up? Hard to say, Amy replied. They seem pretty determined to scare us. Should we tell them it's not working? Asked Carlos Rivera. No, Pete said. Let them figure it out on their own. The miners continued their work while the aliens attacked above. They dug new tunnels, processed ore, and made plans for rebuilding. The attack was just background noise. To them, this is Foreman Pete Collins to the pretty ships. Pete finally said over the radio. Are you about done up there? We have work to do. You dare mock us? Veltar shouted. We're not mocking, Pete replied. We're just not impressed. You destroyed some empty buildings and made some holes in the ground. We can fix that in a week. With what? Veltar demanded. Your colony is destroyed. The surface buildings, sure, Pete said. But that's just the lobby. The real colony is down here in the tunnels, and it's doing fine. Carlos Rivera's voice added, plus you gave us some nice craters to work with. Should make the next mining phase easier. The Zephyrians looked at each other in disbelief. They had used their most powerful weapons, and the humans were talking about it like a favor. This cannot be, Veltar whispered. Maybe humans are tougher than we thought, suggested one of his officers. Or maybe we're not as tough as we thought, added another. Amy Watson's voice came over the radio again. Listen, crystal ships, this has been fun, but we have quotas to meet. Either come down here and fight like grown-ups, or go home and let us work. You want us to come down there? Veltar asked. Sure, Amy replied. But fair warning, it's dark, cramped, and dangerous. Plus, we have mining equipment that can cut through pretty much anything. The Zephyrians looked at their beautiful, delicate ships and thought about going into dark, dangerous tunnels. Retreat, Veltar ordered quietly. What? Asked his officers. I said retreat, Veltar shouted. We will find another way to deal with these humans. As the crystal ships pulled back, the miners' laughter followed them into space. Admiral Helen Ross sat in her office at Earth Command. The reports from the mining colony made her angry. The crystal aliens had attacked human civilians, and that was not acceptable. Get me Captain Morrison, she ordered. Jake Morrison's face appeared on the screen. He was still on the bridge of the Defiant. Captain, I'm giving you permission to respond to the alien attack, Admiral Ross said. Show them what happens when they mess with humans. Yes, ma'am, Jake replied with a grin. What are our rules of engagement? There are no rules, the Admiral said. These crystal wannabes want to play rough? Let's show them how rough humans can be. Jake gathered his crew on the bridge. The Defiant was joined by 5 other human ships. They were not as pretty as the alien vessels, but they were built tough. Listen up, Jake told his crew. These aliens think they can attack our people and get away with it. Time to prove them wrong. Lieutenant Commander Ryan Clark led the fighter squadron. His ships were small but fast, built for asteroid mining and demolition work. Remember, Ryan told his pilots, those crystal ships look fancy, but they're probably fragile. Hit them hard and hit them fast. The human fleet moved toward the Zephyrian ships. The aliens were still near the mining colony, probably trying to figure out why their attack had failed. Incoming transmission from the alien fleet, announced Tom Hayes. Put it through, Jake ordered. High Commander Veltar appeared on the screen. He looked nervous now. Human vessels, you will stop your advance immediately, the alien commander said. We have superior numbers and firepower. Do you? Asked Commander Alex Turner. Because from here, it looks like you have a bunch of pretty decorations floating in space. Our ships are works of art, Veltar insisted. They represent thousands of years of advanced culture. And our ships are built to break things, Jake replied. Guess we'll see which is more useful in a fight. Lisa Brooks studied the alien vessels on her scanner. Captain, those ships have no armor plating. Their hulls are made of some kind of crystalline material. Crystalline? Asked Ryan. Clark over the radio. You mean like glass? Pretty much, Lisa confirmed. One good hit should shatter them. This is too easy, muttered Ben Parker. Jake opened a channel to the alien fleet. Last chance, Veltar. Leave now, or we'll show you why humans survived. On a death world. Death world? The alien commander asked. Earth, Jake explained. Earthquakes, hurricanes, volcanoes, ice ages. We've been through it all. Your pretty ships don't scare us. We outnumber you 3-1, Veltar said, but his voice shook. Numbers don't matter if your ships are made of glass, Alex Turner replied. The battle began when Ryan Clark's fighters attacked the alien flagship. The small human ships moved fast, dodging the crystal vessel's energy beams. Their weapons are slow, Ryan reported. Pretty, but slow. And their ships can't turn quickly, added pilot Sandra Murphy. All that crystal makes them heavy. The human fighters hit the alien flagship with mining lasers. The crystalline hull cracked and shattered like a broken window. Air rushed out of the holes, and the ship began to spin out of control. Direct hit, Sandra shouted. Their flagship is breaking apart. The other alien ships tried to surround the human fleet, but the humans were ready. The Defiant and its sister ships were built to survive asteroid impacts and solar storms. The aliens' fancy energy weapons barely scratched their armor. Is that all they've got? asked Lisa Brooks. Our mining equipment hits harder than that. Jake ordered his ships to attack. The human vessels were smaller than the alien ships, but they moved like hunters stalking prey. Remember, Jake told his crew, we're persistence hunters. We don't give up, and we don't back down. The human ships rammed through the alien formation. Their reinforced hulls smashed into the crystal vessels, shattering them like ornaments. "This is too easy," said Tom Hayes. "They're falling apart." "What did you expect?" Alex Turner asked. "They've been bullying scared aliens for 50,000 years. They never learned to really fight." Sandra Murphy's fighter destroyed 2 more. Alien ships with her mining laser. "Hey, Crystal Boy," she called over the radio. "What's wrong? Did your pretty ships get a scratch?" The Zephyrian fleet was falling apart. Half their ships were destroyed or damaged. The survivors tried to retreat, but the human ships followed them. "We surrender," came a voice from one of the alien ships. "Please, we surrender." "Surrender?" Jake asked. "You attacked our miners. You threatened our people. And now you want to surrender?" "We were wrong," the alien voice pleaded. "We did not. No humans were so strong." "We're not strong," Jake replied. "We're just tougher than you. There's a difference." Ryan Clark's fighters surrounded the remaining alien ships. "What should we do with them, Captain?" Jake thought for a moment. "Let them go, but make sure they understand the message." He opened a channel to all the alien ships. "Listen carefully, Crystal Boy. You picked a fight with the wrong species. Humans don't forget, and we don't forgive attacks on our people." "We understand," came Beltar's voice. He sounded defeated. "Do you?" Jake asked. "Because I don't think you do. You've been conquering scared aliens for thousands of years. You forgot what it's like to face someone who fights back." Alex Turner added, "Here's a free lesson. Humans are predators. We evolved from hunters. We don't run from fights. We finish them." "Your empire is built on fear," Lisa Brooks said. "But we're not afraid of you. We're not afraid of anyone." The alien ships began to retreat, but Jake wasn't finished. "One more thing," he called out. "Tell your emperor, or whatever you call him, that Earth is off limits. Try to attack us again, and we'll come for your home world." "You would attack our home?" Veltar asked in horror. "We would end your empire," Jake replied simply. "Humans protect their own. Always remember that." The surviving alien ships fled into deep space. The human fleet watched them go. "Think they learned their lesson?" asked Tom Hayes. "Maybe," Jake said. "But something tells me this is just the beginning." Sandra Murphy's voice came over the radio. "Captain, we're getting transmissions from other star systems. Looks like word is spreading about our little fight." "What kind of transmissions?" Jake asked. "Other alien species," Sandra replied. "They're asking if the rumors are true. Did humans really defeat the Zephyrian Empire?" Jake looked at his crew. They were all grinning. "Tell them yes," he said. "And tell them the galaxy just got a lot more interesting." The human fleet began the journey home, leaving behind the wreckage of the alien ships. The crystal vessels floated in space like broken ornaments, a reminder that sometimes the prettiest things are also the most fragile. Admiral Ross would be pleased with the results. The aliens had learned not to mess with humans. But Jake suspected this victory would bring new challenges. The galaxy was about to discover that humans were not like other species, and that was going to change everything. Dr. Nathan Pierce examined the pieces of the alien ship floating in space. The Defiant had collected samples from the battle, and what he found amazed him. "Captain Morrison, you need to see this." Nathan called from his lab. Jake walked into the science bay where Nathan was studying a chunk of crystal hull. "What did you find?" Jake asked. "This isn't just decorative," Nathan explained, holding up the crystal fragment. "Their entire ship is made of this material. It's beautiful, But it's also incredibly weak. Weak how? Nathan tapped the crystal with a metal tool. It cracked easily. Look at this. One small impact and it breaks. These ships were never meant for real combat. Lisa Brooks joined them in the lab. That explains why they shattered so easily. But how did they conquer half the galaxy with ships like this? I don't think they did much conquering, Nathan said. I think they did a lot of threatening and intimidating. He pulled up data on his screen. Look at these energy readings from their weapons. They're designed to look impressive, not to cause real damage. Pretty lights instead of real power, Jake muttered. Exactly, Nathan agreed. Everything about their technology is about appearance. They want to look scary, not be scary. Tom Hayes entered the lab carrying a tablet. Captain, we're getting more intelligence from the mining colony. Pete Collins and his team captured some alien equipment. What kind of equipment? Jake asked. Personal gear from the aliens who beamed down, Tom replied. Turns out their ground forces are just as weak as their ships. Jake read the report Pete had sent. The alien soldiers had surrendered the moment they saw human mining equipment. They begged for mercy when faced with men carrying plasma cutters. Sergeant Kelly Martinez led the capture, Tom continued. She said the aliens cried when they saw our security team. They cried? Lisa asked. Literally, Tom confirmed. Kelly said it was embarrassing. They kept asking for their mothers. Nathan studied more data on his computer. This is starting to make sense. Look at these biological scans of the alien prisoners. The screen showed the internal structure of a Zephyrian body. Their bones were thin and fragile, their muscles underdeveloped. They're physically weak, Nathan explained. Their entire species has evolved in comfort. No predators, no natural disasters, no real challenges. So they're soft, Jake said. Completely soft, Nathan agreed. They've probably never faced real danger in their entire evolutionary history. Lisa Brooks laughed. No wonder they were so shocked when we fought back. They've never met a species that didn't run away screaming. It gets better, Nathan said. Look at their technology specs. He showed them diagrams of alien weapons and ships. Everything was designed to look impressive, but function poorly. Their weapons are inefficient, Nathan explained. They waste energy on visual effects instead of actual damage. Their ships are fragile because they prioritize beauty over strength. They're all style and no substance, Jake said. Exactly, and that's why their empire is doomed. Tom Hayes looked confused. Doomed? They still control half the galaxy. Do they? Nathan asked. Or do they just think they do? He pulled up a star map showing Zephyrian territory. Look at this. Their empire is huge, but it's all built on fear. What happens when people stop being afraid? Revolution, Jake said quietly. We're already getting reports, Tom confirmed. Other species are asking questions about the Zephyrians. Word is spreading about our victory. Nathan nodded. An empire built on intimidation can't survive when people realize the Emperor has no clothes. Speaking of which, Lisa said, Kelly Martinez wants to talk to you, Captain. She's got some interesting stories about the alien prisoners. Jake made his way to the security section, where Kelly was questioning the captured aliens. The Zephyrians sat in the holding cells, looking miserable. Captain, Kelly said, these guys are pathetic. They've been telling me about their empire, and it's worse than we thought. How so? They've never actually fought a real war, Kelly explained. For 50,000 years, they've been bullying species that were too scared to fight back. Jake looked at the aliens in their cells. They looked back with fear in their eyes. Tell him what you told me, Kelly said to one of the prisoners. The alien, a young Zephyrian soldier, spoke quietly. We were taught that all species would submit to our glory. We were told that resistance was impossible. And you believe that? Jake asked. We had no reason not to, the alien replied. Every species we met surrendered immediately. We thought we were invincible. Until you met humans, Kelly said with a grin. The alien nodded sadly. Your species is different. You do not fear us. You mock us. You destroy our ships as if they were toys. Because they are toys, Jake said. You built an empire on bluff and intimidation. That only works until someone calls your bluff. Another alien prisoner spoke up. Our leaders do not know what to do. This has never happened before. What do you mean? Jake asked. No species has ever defeated us in battle, the alien explained. Our tactics, our strategies, everything is based on intimidation. We do not know how to fight a real war. Kelly crossed her arms. So you're telling me that the mighty Zephyrian Empire has never faced actual resistance? Never, the first alien confirmed. We arrive, we threaten, they surrender. It has always been that way. Well, congratulations, Jake said. You just met your first real enemy. The aliens looked even more miserable. What will happen to us? One asked. We'll drop you off at the nearest Zephyrian outpost, Jake replied. But I want you to deliver a message to your leaders. What message? Tell them that the age of easy conquest is over. There's a new species in the galaxy, and we don't scare easily. Kelly smiled. Tell them that humans are persistence hunters. We don't give up, and we don't back down. And tell them, Jake added, that we're not the only ones who will fight back now. Once word spreads about your weakness, every species you've bullied will remember their courage. The aliens looked at each other with growing fear. They were beginning to understand what Jake meant. Your empire is finished, Jake said simply. You just don't know it yet. Later, Jake met with his senior staff to discuss their findings. So let me get this straight, Commander Alex Turner said. The Big Bad Galactic Empire is actually a bunch of weaklings who've been coasting on their reputation for 50,000 years? That's about right, Nathan confirmed. And now that we've shown they can be beaten, other species are going to start fighting back? Alex continued. It's already happening, Tom Hayes reported. We're getting transmissions from all over the galaxy. Species that were conquered by the Zephyrians are asking for details about our victory. Some are already declaring independence, Lisa Brooks added. The Zephyrian Empire is falling apart. Jake looked out at the stars. We set out to explore the galaxy and make peaceful contact with alien species. Instead, we accidentally started a revolution. Is that a bad thing? Alex asked. I don't know, Jake admitted. But I have a feeling our lives just got a lot more complicated. Nathan was studying his data again. Captain, there's something else. The Zephyrians aren't the only empire out there. There are other species that might be stronger, smarter, or more dangerous. You think they'll come after us? Jake asked. Maybe, Nathan said. Or maybe they'll be smart enough to leave us alone. Kelly Martinez joined them on the bridge. The alien prisoners are ready for transport. They keep asking if we're really going to let them go. Why wouldn't we? Jake asked. I think they expected us to enslave them or something, Kelly replied. They can't understand why we'd show mercy to enemies. Because we're not like them, Jake said. We don't conquer people for fun. We fight when we have to, but we don't. Enjoy it. That might make us even more dangerous, Alex observed. An enemy who fights because they enjoy it is predictable. An enemy who fights because they have to is much scarier. Jake nodded. Let's get these prisoners back to their people. And then let's head home. Admiral Ross is going to want a full report. As the Defiant prepared to leave, Jake wondered what they had started. The galaxy was about to change, and humanity was right in the middle of it. Whether that was good or bad remained to be seen. 6 months after the battle with the Zephyrians, Captain Jake Morrison stood in Admiral Helen Ross's office on Earth. The reports spread across her desk told an amazing story. "The Zephyrian Empire is gone," Admiral Ross said, looking at the latest. "Intelligence reports completely collapsed. Their territory is now controlled by dozens of independent species." "How many rebellions?" Jake asked. "Over 200 successful uprisings," the Admiral replied. "Turns out, once people realized the Zephyrians were weak, they stopped being afraid." Intelligence Officer Grace Bennett entered the office carrying more reports. "Admiral, we have 17 new species requesting diplomatic contact with Earth. They all want to ally with us." "Ally with us?" Jake asked. "Why?" "Because you're the species that broke the Zephyrian Empire," Grace explained. "Word has spread across the galaxy. Humans are seen as powerful warriors who can defeat anyone." Admiral Ross shook her head. "We never wanted to be galactic conquerors. We just wanted to explore space and make friends." "Well, you made friends," Grace said. "Just not the way you expected." The door chimed, and Commander Alex Turner entered with more news. "Admiral, we have a problem," Alex announced. "The Corvan Federation is mobilizing their fleet. They're heading toward former Zephyrian territory." "Who are the Corvans?" Jake asked. Grace pulled up information on her tablet. "Another galactic power. They're more militaristic than the Zephyrians. Real soldiers, not just bullies. Are they coming for us?" Admiral Ross asked. "Unknown," Grace replied. "But they're definitely taking advantage of the power vacuum left by the Zephyrian collapse." Admiral Ross stood up and walked to the window. Outside, construction crews were building new ships for the expanding human fleet. "We need to establish the Human Defense Initiative," she said. "If we're going to be seen as a galactic power, we need to act like one." "What does that mean?" Jake asked. "It means we protect the species that can't protect themselves," the Admiral replied. "The Zephyrians may have been bullies, but they kept other predators away from weaker species." "So now we're the galactic police?" Alex asked. "Looks like it," Admiral Ross said. "Grace, prepare a proposal for the Global Council. We're going to need a lot more ships." Jake left the meeting with a new mission. The exploration ship Defiant was being upgraded with heavier weapons and better armor. They were still explorers, but now they were also protectors. A week later, Jake found himself back in space, but everything had changed. The Defiant now traveled with a small fleet of human ships. They were heading to the Andara system, where a species called the Velkari had asked for protection from Corvan raiders. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the Velkari homeworld," announced Tom Hayes. "Put it through," Jake ordered. The screen showed a small, furry alien with large eyes. It looked nervous but hopeful. "Human Captain Morrison," the alien said. "I am Ambassador Tyrek of the Velkari people. We are grateful you came to help us." "What's a situation?" Jake asked. "The Corvans have taken 3 of our outer colonies," Tyrek explained. "They demand we surrender our entire system, or they will destroy our homeworld." Commander Alex Turner leaned forward. "How long do we have?" "The Corvan fleet arrives in 2 days," Tyrek replied. "We have no military to speak of. Under Zephyrian rule, we were forbidden to have weapons." Jake nodded. This was becoming a common story. The Zephyrians had kept other species weak and defenseless. Now those species were easy targets for more aggressive powers. "We'll handle the Corvans," Jake promised. "But you need to start thinking about defending yourselves. We can't protect everyone forever." "We understand," Tyrek said, "but we do not know how to fight." "We'll teach you," Lisa Brooks said from her engineering station. "Humans are good at that." 2 days later, the Corvan fleet arrived in the Andara system. Their ships were different from the Zephyrians. These vessels looked like weapons, all sharp angles and heavy armor. Incoming transmission from the Corvin fleet, Tom announced. Let's hear what they have to say, Jake said. The screen showed a large, reptilian alien with scars across its face. This was clearly a warrior species. I am War Commander Scar of the Corvin Federation, the alien said. You will withdraw from this system immediately. The Valkyrie belong to us now. Sorry, but we have a different opinion, Jake replied. The Valkyrie asked for our protection. Scar looked amused. You are the humans who destroyed the crystal weaklings. Impressive, but the Corvins are not as soft as the Zephyrians. Good, Alex Turner said. We were hoping for a real challenge. You? Mock us? Scar asked. We're just not impressed, Jake said. You're bullying a peaceful species. That makes you no better than the Zephyrians. The Zephyrians were fools who relied on fear, Scar replied. We rely on strength. Then prove it. Jake challenged. The Corvin ships moved into attack position. They were bigger than human vessels and heavily armed. Captain, Lisa Brooks reported, their ships are built for war. This won't be as easy as fighting the crystal ships. Good, Jake said. Easy fights are boring. The battle began with the Corvins firing first. Their weapons were powerful, and the human ships took real damage. Now that's more like it, commented Ryan Clark over the Fighter Squadron channel. These guys actually know how to fight. Don't get cocky, warned Sandra. Murphy, their weapons pack a punch. The human fleet used different tactics against the Corvins. Instead of charging straight at them, they used hit-and-run attacks. The human ships were faster and more maneuverable. Remember, Jake told his fleet, we're not trying to beat them in a straight fight. We're trying to convince them to leave. The battle lasted for hours. Both sides took losses, but the humans had one advantage the Corvins didn't expect. They never gave up. These humans are persistent, one Corvin officer reported to Scar. They keep coming back no matter how much damage. We do. Then we destroy them all, Scar ordered. But the human ships were built tough. They could take damage and keep fighting. The Corvin ships were powerful, but not as durable. Captain, Ryan Clark reported, I'm seeing something interesting. The Corvin ships fight well in formation, but they're not good at adapting. What do you mean? Jake asked. They have a plan, and they stick to it, Ryan explained. But when we change our tactics, they take time to adjust. Jake smiled. All right, people. Time to show them how humans really fight. Random attack patterns. Keep them guessing. The human fleet scattered and attacked from all directions. The Corvins tried to maintain their formation, but the humans were too unpredictable. This is chaos, Scar complained. They have no discipline. It's working, though, his weapons officer pointed out. We can't target them effectively. The tide of battle slowly turned in favor of the humans. Not because they were stronger, but because they were more adaptable. War Commander, came a report from the Corvin flagship. We've lost 6 ships. The humans have lost only 2. Scar studied the tactical display. The humans were using tactics he had never seen before. They fought like a pack of wild animals, coordinated but unpredictable. These humans are not like other species, he admitted. Should we retreat? Asked his second-in-command. Scar considered this. The Corvins were proud warriors, but they were also practical. Fighting a losing battle served no purpose. Open a channel to the human commander, he ordered. Jake's face appeared on the Corvin view screen. He looked calm despite the ongoing battle. Ready to talk? Jake asked. You fight well, human, Scar said. But this battle decides nothing. We can bring more ships. So can we, Jake replied. But why waste ships and lives? The Valkyrie don't want to be part of your federation. Find territory somewhere else. You would protect all the weak species in this sector? Scar asked. If we have to, Jake said. But we'd rather teach them. To protect themselves. Scar thought about this. The Zephyrians kept species weak to control them. You make them strong to free them? That's the idea, Jake confirmed. Interesting, Scar said. Very well, human. We will withdraw from this system. But this is not over between our peoples. Didn't expect it to be, Jake replied. But next time you want to fight humans, pick on someone your own size. The Corvin fleet retreated, leaving the Velkari system. Free. Ambassador Tyrek was overjoyed. Thank you, Captain Morrison, Tyrek said. How can we ever repay you? Learn to defend yourselves, Jake replied. We'll send some instructors to help you build a defense force. We are a peaceful people, Tyrek protested. We do not like violence. Neither do we, Jake said. But sometimes you have to fight to protect what you love. Over the following months, the pattern repeated across the galaxy. Species that had been freed from Zephyrian rule found themselves threatened by other powers. Each time they called on the humans for help, Admiral Ross established defense stations throughout former Zephyrian space. Human instructors taught former subjects how to build weapons and train soldiers. We're becoming what we never wanted to be, Jake said during one of his reports to Earth. What's that? Admiral Ross asked. An empire, Jake replied. We're controlling territory and telling other species what to do. Are we? The Admiral asked. Or are we teaching them to control their own territory? Jake thought about this. The species they had helped were becoming stronger and more independent. Some were already defending themselves without human assistance. I suppose you're right, he said. We're not building an empire. We're Preve.